In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through all the steps that had to happen before I got a Tesla Powerwall fitted by Octopus Energy. Hi folks, G3 here. As some of you may know, I recently got a heat pump fitted by Octopus Energy. As part of that process, I also decided I would get a Tesla Powerwall fitted to make the most of cheap overnight electricity to power the heat pump during the day. I thought it might be helpful to list the steps that happened prior to the battery being fitted, just so you know the time frames and the sort of steps that will happen prior to you getting a battery fitted by Octopus Energy. I first dabbled with getting solar and battery fitted in November 2020 when I lived at a prior house. This was a scheme that Dover District Council were running to have a collective bargaining power for their residents to try and get a cheaper deal in getting solar fitted to their homes. The winning bidder that would be servicing all the solar needs for the region was EEC Solar, and I had a look at the quotation that they put through, the kind of things that were going to be added in there, and whilst it seemed pretty good, it was quite a reasonable quotation, I thought the payback time just wasn't attractive to me. It was going to take too long to get any money back from it. It just didn't seem particularly worthwhile. And at this point, it was a prior house where we didn't have a heat pump fitted, so we didn't have a huge annual usage of electricity to make it particularly worthwhile. We would be selling a lot of the energy back to the network, and of course the amount of money that you can get from that has gone down over the years, so it wasn't particularly a worthwhile prospect. Roll forward to May 2024 and Dover District Council got in touch about another Solar Together quotation scheme they were running, so we also decided to take part in that because we're in a new house, wanted to see what it was like, and it was a fairly similar scenario. It was a really good deal that they managed to get, but it wasn't going to be particularly cost effective. There was going to be a long payback time for us, so we weren't interested in undertaking it. But then in December 2024, we got a quote for a heat pump from Octopus Energy, and we decided to go ahead with that. As part of that, we thought that it might be great then to offset some of the cost of the electricity by getting solar and battery fitted. So we undertook a inquiry for Octopus Solar, and this was mid-March 2025. They came back pretty quickly. Within a couple of days, they had given us a quotation for 6 panels and battery. When they were doing their calculations, they wanted to sort of understand what the need might be for the heat pump use, the EV use, that kind of thing. And they were looking at the fact that we got reduced overnight charging costs through the Octopus Go tariff that we were on. And the assumption was that we might be able to shift maybe 2,000 kilowatt hours of usage over to nighttime, which could be a bit of a saving. So they were modelling the monthly use that we might have with the air source heat pump, understanding that wintertime would have higher use, summertime would have less use because it was just going to be the water that we'd need to be heating. We wouldn't necessarily be having house heating during the summer months. They had estimated that we might be maybe using 2 kilowatt hours a day for hot water, and that was all. So they'd assumed that we might be using maybe 6,500 kilowatt hours per year. Because at this point we didn't have the heat pump in place, and so they were trying to model the best usage estimate that they could to understand what the payback might be for any solar system we got in place. So this 6-panel quotation from Octopus, it came in at £12,738. It was going to be generating 2.67 kilowatts of power through those 6 panels. And they calculated that there was going to be an annual generation of 2,934 kilowatt hours of power. They'd estimated first year savings of £724, which meant a payback period of 18 years, which was quite a long time. I was really disappointed with that, in truth. I didn't think it was particularly worth going forward with it. Just 18 years to even get payback, it just didn't seem worth it. What we had also asked for at the time was a quotation for having some panels on our car barn as well. Now they needed to double check whether that would be physically possible, so they checked, and a couple of days later they asked me to send through some photos of the location, and they were then able to give an estimate for if they were going to be fitting 8 panels, and that came through at £13,527. The generation was going to be 3.56 kilowatts from those 8 panels, and it meant an annual generation of 3,777 kilowatt hours. This all went towards making 1 year savings of £918, which was obviously a little bit better, meaning the payback period was going to be 15 years. It's still not great. It's a long time to pay back the outlay, and it didn't particularly seem worthwhile to us. We were not interested in that at that rate. But I did ask them if they would be able to give us a quotation for just a battery fitting, so that we'll be able to make use of the cheap overnight electricity that we had and stock up the battery and then use that during the day for the heat pump. Now, it must be said that that wouldn't necessarily provide all of the power that we would need with the heat pump, and that is definitely the case. Having had it fitted and run through a winter with it, I can say that is the case, that the battery was getting drained within about half the days during peak usage, but it was still providing cheaper electricity for that first part of the day, so we were making a saving, so it was worthwhile. Now, the way that would work, we were looking at a Tesla Powerwall V3, which has a 13.5 kilowatt hour total power. And now that isn't able to be fully utilized, you can probably only get maybe, I think it's about 11 kilowatt hours of use out of that total capacity. So if for easy maths, we look at maybe getting 10 kilowatt hours of power in that battery, we at peak rate would be paying 29 pence per unit. The cheap rate overnight, it is 7 pence per unit, so that is a 22 pence per unit saving if we're able to put some of that into the battery, and that is 10 units per day that we could fit in there, so we could be saving £2.20 per day. Not a huge amount, but over a collective period it does add up, and so we wanted to see whether that was worthwhile. The total quotation for fitting the battery only, it was £7,312. Now, the estimated first year savings were £746, and Octopus said that there would be a 10-year payback, which seemed a lot more appealing than the 15 and 18 years that we've been looking at for solar. And actually, when I did my own calculations, looking at that 10 kilowatt hour amount and saving 22 pence per kilowatt hour, that £2.20 per day, we would actually be able to pay for all of that over 3,324 days, which is 9 years. So it was a little bit quicker than Octopus were estimating their best case scenario. That seemed okay to us, especially seeing as the fact that we were able to pay for it using divide by finance over 3 years at 0%. So we would pay for it with 0% interest over 3 years, which seemed a pretty reasonable thing to be able to do. So we decided to proceed, and we gave Octopus notice of that on the 31st of March 2025 that we were going to be proceeding. At this point, they told us the next steps would be to get an earthing rod fitted to the house, and also they would need to be seeking DNO approval to get this fitted, because there was then the potential to pass power back to the energy network, so that's why it needed the DNO approval to be able to do that. It didn't take long at all to get the earthing rod fitted. On the 10th of April, so that's just 10 days later, they were at the house fitting the earthing rod. It did take a little while for the electrician to get that in place. He had a few difficulties, but it was put in our front garden area, which isn't very big, but it was able to be put in there, and so we had an earthing rod in place. Now, what we'd hoped to happen was that we'd be able to get the battery fitted before we were going to have the heat pump in place. We figured that it would be a lot easier to get that in first and then get the heat pump. And we did seek approval or advice from Octopus, and I have to say at the time they weren't particularly helpful, because the solar team didn't really know much about the heat pump team and vice versa, and they didn't communicate particularly effectively. So it took a little while for me to nudge them to come back with an answer as to whether it would be worthwhile. It didn't make a huge difference, in truth. They weren't particularly fussed, but it was felt that maybe getting the battery in place first might be useful. So that's what we were looking to do. The heat pump was going to be fitted in the first week of June, so we were looking for getting the battery in place by the end of May. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do that because we didn't get DNO approval until the 9th of June. But at that point, they then said, yep, you can get the battery fitted, that's not a problem. So that's fine. And because of that, we then looked at a date of 1st of July for getting the battery fitted. So this was well after the heat pump was going to be in place, another month. So it was disappointing that there was that time delay, but that's the way it was. Now, ahead of this, on the 19th of June, we got a request from Octopus to choose an export tariff. It was a bit confusing. I didn't really know why we had received that. We're not having solar, so why would we need to be exporting electricity? And it was an automated email that we got, so I reached out to support and asked for their guidance, and they said, yep, it was an automated thing, but it would still be a good idea to select an export tariff, even if we were sort of planning to use all of the energy we stored, because any excess energy would automatically go back to the grid, so it was worth having a tariff in place just in case. We could potentially earn a little bit just from that. They said that we'd be able to manage exporting through the Gateway app, and it was going to be set up by the electricians on the day of installation, and they'd walk through how everything works. They said there weren't any costs or standing charges associated with the export tariff, so I had a look at the available ones and told them which one we'd like to go on, so we needed to get approval for that. Next up was we got an email from them 7 days before the installation was due to happen, so this was the 24th of June. And it went through the different steps that were going to happen. It was an automated email, again, because it listed about getting scaffolding in place for the installation of the solar panels, which, we weren't having scaffolding because we weren't having solar panels. So it was a little bit disappointing that it was an automated thing, but that's what it was. But it did go through the other steps, so that was quite useful. And everything was in place, ready for the 1st of July when we were going to be having that fitting. Unfortunately, we got an email on the 30th of June to tell us that it wouldn't be able to be fitted because there was an illness to the electricians that were going to be doing that, so they were going to have to cancel. It's unfortunate, it happens. It was obviously disappointing, but can't help somebody being ill. So we looked for a rearrangement of that, and unfortunately this is a disappointing thing. It was going to be 6 weeks before we were then able to get it installed. I was hoping we'd be able to get it fitted a bit quicker because obviously we've been let down by the fact that they weren't able to install it on the original date, but that was the first they could do, so we were going to have to wait 6 weeks. Now I was rather disappointed by this, so I did look out for another quotation from a different company. I looked at Heatable, who I had seen on YouTube and were highly recommended, so I had a quotation for them for solar panels and battery, and it came in at £11,230, which was about £1,500 cheaper, and that was for a system using 7 panels. But again, this was still a long payback, and it wasn't worth my while. And once I'd sort of cooled down a little bit about the fact we weren't going to get the battery installed as quickly as I'd hoped, it was fine. We decided to wait until the 14th of August for that installation. So that was everything in the build-up. We got another email 7 days prior to the fitting again with exactly the same details as we got before, but other than that, there was nothing else that happened prior to the installation of the battery. I'll cover that in another video, so keep an eye out for that, and I'll show you all about the battery fitting and give you a little bit of information about it. But I hope you found this video useful, telling you about the steps that happened prior to the installation, so you know how it might go for you and the kind of things that you might have happening for you before an installation. If you found it useful, then please click the like button down below, and if you haven't done so already, then why not subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you get notified when I load up a new video. That way you'll know as soon as I've gone and loaded up the video about the battery installation itself. Well, thanks for watching, folks. I hope you found it useful. Until next time, bye.